to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for that doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me, keep on running. Toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win.
What's up? What's going on? Welcome to Dave's Doghouse. How are y'all doing tonight? I know some NBA games going on. The NBA All-Star Weekend is over. So the Celtics are playing the 76ers right now. There's a couple other games that's on, but I know that's the main game that a lot of people are watching right now. And it's a coincidence that someone on each team will be talked about today on Dave's Doghouse. But now that you're watching me live, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel, please. Go ahead and do that. I know your fingers ain't hurting too much to be able to go do that. So go ahead and make sure you take care of that for me. Hit that notification button so whenever I go live or have a video or a short, you make sure that you get that notification as soon as that happens. And man, we got some really great topics to talk about tonight because it's now season 2 of Dave's Doghouse. And season 2 consists of me highlighting and lowlighting anyone in the basketball world because basketball is what's live right now. Got the WNBA going on. Unrivaled have had some one-on-ones that was going on with Aaliyah Edwards. That was in the final with the Fisa Caller. That was a heck of a game, heck of a three-game series. NBA ain't really trying to do that. They trying to add it to the NBA All-Star Weekend, but we'll see if that actually happens. I don't know. All I know is it's been a lot of things that happened today. I know that there was something that happened today. Unfortunately, got to give a shout out to Shot Coverage. If you have not already seen this, but Shot Coverage actually covered some news about Victor Wembanyama is now out for the rest of the season because he has some blood clots that happened in his shoulder after he injured his shoulder. So unfortunately, we will not be seeing the alien for the rest of the season. So that's just some news for those of you who probably have not seen it on ESPN or Bleacher Report. It's been out for hours now, but just letting you know that's where the information came from. But now that we're here, we get to go ahead and get started with the Doghouse. So you already know how it goes when it comes to Dave's Doghouse. We gotta hear the how. Now let's get started. As you all know, we have this thing here, what we call Puppy Chow. Now, my very first inductee to the Puppy Chow house, the Doghouse. This team is one of the most historic college basketball teams in college basketball, especially for men's. But this year has not been exciting for them. It's been one of the worst seasons for them as far as what they were projected to do and how people saw them and what they where they should be in their in college basketball. Just a couple of seasons ago, they were considered the number one team in college basketball, but we know how that ended up. They didn't even go to the NIT because they declined it. They didn't make the March Madness. But this season, although they don't look too well right now, they are in the ACC, of course. And their rival team is the number one team in the ACC. It's the Tar Heels. North Carolina Tar Heels. Vaughn, my man, my guy. I know you've been saying this for a while. You've been saying that your team is trash. It's not good. Well, they have found their way to be inducted into the doghouse. They are 9-6 in the ACC conference right now. 16-11 overall. 10-2 at home, 4-6 on the road. They do not have a winning record on the road in the ACC. They did win their last two games, but this is just overall for this year. They have one of the worst rankings, and when you look at where they are, top to bottom, they're 97th in the league in average scoring margin, which is only plus 4.2. It's not that good. They are not even top 50 in assists per game. They're only averaging 14.4 assists per game as a team. That's not good. That's 103rd in the country. Yeah, 103rd. That's bad. Rebounds per game. This is one of the issues that Vaughn talked about. They're only averaging about 37 rebounds per game as a team. That's 78th in the country. Woo! 78th? That's not good. Assist to turnover ratio. 79th in the league in the country. Effective field goal percentage, 72nd in the country with 53.4%. It's just not, it just doesn't look too good. Effective field goal percentage on the defense is 49.6. That's also not good. It's just the balance it's not there. Free throw percentage, 125th in the country. 3-point percentage, 197th in the country. It's just not good. 3 points made per game. Only as a team, only making about 7 threes per game. It's not good. Free throw percentage, 73.6 is it's not horrible, but it's not good. 125th in the country. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what's up with UNC. They do have something promising coming next year. They did get one of the top 5 ranked players in the 2025 class for next season. So they have at least that to look forward to. So that's going to be interesting to see how that comes out next season for them. But defense hasn't been there either. 86 in blocks in the country. And block percentage is 118th. Steals, they're 2. These are not good numbers. These are not good numbers for North Carolina. So I'm not sure what they're going to be able to. I don't know what they're going to do for the rest of the season. I don't know if they're going to make them run an ACC tournament to put themselves in position to be in the March Madness. Who knows where they're going to be? Who knows how far they're going to go this season? But it's not looking good right now. And that's why they are now in the doghouse. I got you in the doghouse. That's the Tar Heels for you. Now, this next inductee to the doghouse. This guy has been one of the most upsetting players in the NBA this season. He left his team just to get to a point to, he thought he would be able to compete in another place and be the number 2 or number 3 star player on this team. It has not looked that way so far this season. And this is one of his worst seasons he's had in his career. And he's getting starter minutes. He's played 35 games already so far. He has a nickname that he calls himself, but a lot of people don't accept that name. He goes by Podcast P. It is Paul George. Where's Paul though? Where's Paul though? Well, guess what? Paul though is averaging 16.1 points per game this season. This is the worst season he's had in his career since 2014 and 2015. And that's the year he got hurt because he only played 6 games that year, which means he only averaged 8.8 per. He only averaged 8 points per game that season. But like I said, he only played in 6 games. He was hurt. Paul George does not look like the number 3 best player on the 76ers right now. He just doesn't. Now, they already have Joel Embiid, who really hasn't been available. Now, Paul George is barely available. He's also playing terrible. This is what he's done the last, other than tonight, because I know that they're playing right now. But the last 5 games, this is what he's put up. When the 76ers played against Miami on February 5th, he put up 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. He played 32 minutes in that game, 3 of 11 from the floor. Not good. Against Detroit, on the road, he put up 14 points, 6 of 10 from the field, better shooting percentage, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Okay, that's all right. Against Milwaukee, 12 points, 4 of 8 from the field. Or 4 of 8 from the field. Oh, so my apologies. I made a little bit of mistake. So against Detroit, he had 14 points, 1 rebound, no assists. Against Milwaukee, he had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Then against Toronto, he put up 14 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. And then in the very last game before the All-Star break, against the Brooklyn Nets, Paul George, PG-13, Playoff P, Podcast P, is who he really is, scored a grand total of 2 points and was 1 of 7 from the field. He only shot the ball 7 times in that game against the Nets. And that went along with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Paul George, where you at, man? What you doing? You're only averaging 16 points per game this season. This is the worst. Like I said, this is the worst season you had when you've played more games since 2000. When you played more than 6 games since 2012, the 2012-2013 season. That's a long time ago. You were with Indiana during that time. Yes, I'm talking about PG, Paul George. Where's Paul, though? He has not played well this season. Vaughn, your boy, I mean, not your boy, because I know it's not your team, but PG just, you said it, he fell off. He looks like a role player and not a good one. A very inconsistent role player. That's what he looks like right now. He's had comments saying that, he's bored playing the 5, it's difficult to play with Embiid. You knew that before you signed up for it. You knew that it wasn't going to be easy playing alongside Joel Embiid, but you decided that you want to do it anyway. You're not looking good right now, PG. And that's why I got to put you in the doghouse. This is for the first half of the season. You just have not looked good. I don't know what you're going to do to get better. But what you're doing ain't working, my boy. Maybe you should have stayed in LA, or maybe you should have did something and went back to Indiana. I don't know what you should have did. But Philly ain't the place to be, and it ain't the place to be when you're playing like a scrub. Philly you should know by now that Philly crowd, them Philly fans, they something serious. But this is where you decided to go. Until you do something different, where you start actually looking like Paul George, this is where you're going to be. So, Paul George, you're in the doghouse.
My guy, you in the doghouse.
Oh, you got Indiana fans that don't even want you back. But that's where you are. Now, the last inductee to the doghouse for tonight's show. I would say this is one of the most disappointing teams. They have kind of sort of been one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA for a good little while now. There was always high praise because of what they were able to get as far as players, but they just can't seem to get it together. They had another offseason where they went and got DeJounte Murray. CJ McCollum, Zion Williamson, and you still had Brandon Ingram at the time. It's the Pelicans, man. The Pelicans are seriously one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA, if not the most. I know some people want to talk about the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic have had injuries almost all season long. Paolo went out early in the season. Then Franz went out. The Magic had injuries. They had a reason. And yes, I know the Pelicans had a lot of injuries as well, but this has been consistent with the Pelicans that even with what they have, they just can't get nothing together. They are 5th place in their division, not the conference. 5th place in their division. They are 13-42 on the season. They won their last game that they played, but the Pelicans are just not a good team. They just aren't. They have been one of the most upsetting teams I've witnessed, man. Not sure what they need to do to get back on the right track, but the Pelicans, they start the second half tomorrow, playing against the Mavericks on the road. AD won't be there, of course, because AD, he's out indefinitely. He's out for at least 2 weeks because he got injured in his first game with Dallas. But you still got to deal with Max Christie, who has shown that he can definitely be a difference maker with the Mavericks, and Kyrie Irving. But what are y'all going to do, New Orleans? What are y'all gonna do, man? I just don't. You won your last game against the Kings, which was on Thursday. You won by 7 in overtime. But before then, you lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You lost 10 straight games before that. 10 straight games. So you snapped your 10-game losing streak, but is another one about to begin? Is Zion going to be able to play the rest of the regular season, or is he going to get hurt? Is CJ McCollum going to be consistent? Is DeJounte Murray going to do what's happening? Brandon Ingram gone. You traded him. He's with the Toronto Raptors. He's gone. Your team hasn't elevated whatsoever. This is just where you are right now. I don't have an answer for you, but the Pelicans are more playing like pigeons. Your name right now should be the New Orleans Pigeons, because you're not flying nowhere for real. You're not soaring nowhere. Until further notice, you are the New Orleans Pigeons. So get it together. You're not in the doghouse. My guy, you're in the doghouse. Tell me, y'all, man. They just, it's just. Your average scoring margin is -9, pretty much. Effective field goal percentage is 51.7. Opponents' effective field goal percentage is 56.4. I mean, I got no words for you. Just do better, New Orleans. Do better. No, I'm not even done. I still got more I gotta say. You have the 22nd, what tie for 22nd best offense in the league, which is not good. It's 30 teams in the league, and you tie for 22. Not good. 24th in field goal percentage. Not good. 19th in three-point percentage. Your team is just not good. And then on defense, you're the third worst team in the NBA on defense. You're allowing 119 points per game. Yeah, you're the first team to ever get the doghouse called twice. You're in the doghouse. My guy, you're in the doghouse. That's just bad. It's just bad. All right, y'all. Now that we done talked about them, man. You just gotta do better. Now we gotta talk about the dogs of the week. The guys, the girls, the people, the teams in basketball that are doing their due diligence to put themselves in position to be winners. And some are actually surprising. This one should come to no surprise because he also played in the ACC when he was in college. He only played for 1 year. But he plays for an historic franchise. And that franchise has 46% of former college players averaging 18 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 5 assists per game. He is one of these guys. And honestly, if you look at this list, he's the best player from this college. That's in this picture right now. You have other guys like RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Paolo Banchero, Zion Williamson, Kyrie Irving. I can go down the list for Duke players. But this guy is the only one out of those guys that I named, other than Kyrie, that has a ring. And he's considered the best player on this team. Who might you think I'm talking about? Oh, he's actually playing the game right now. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is a dog. He's had a really good first half for the second place team in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics. We all know the Cleveland Cavaliers are the number one team in the Eastern Conference, with OKC being the number one team in the Western. But the Celtics are right there. Now, there was a stretch where they were pretty much inconsistent. They was winning, losing, win, lose, win, lose. I think in 10 games, they were 5-5. That's what happened. But then they kind of went on a win streak. The last 3 games before tonight, because like I said, I know they're playing against the 76ers right now. Today is, February 20th. This is at 8:39 p.m. Like I said, I know he's playing the 76ers at this moment. But over his last 3 games before tonight, He put up 32 points, 14 rebounds, and made 4 threes. That was a win. 33 points, 8 rebounds, 4 threes, another win. 40 points, 6 rebounds, 7 threes, and a win. He leads the Boston Celtics right now. Jason Tatum has the most wins by any player in the NBA since he entered the league. The most wins. I mean, he plays for the Celtics, which is a historic franchise. So you would expect that to happen. He's 5th in the NBA in points per game right now, averaging about 28 points per game right now in the NBA. He has played really well this season. He's averaging 27 points per game, 45% from the field, about 8 rebounds, almost 6 assists. Jason Tatum is having a really good season so far right now. And this right now is his second best season since 2022, which was, the other year that they got to the NBA championship. They got to the finals. Well, no. They lost that year. That's when Miami got to the finals. Sorry. But they got to the finals. And won it all last year. Now, there are people that continue to question him as a player. Some people call him soft. I don't get why they continue to call him soft, because he doesn't do what they do. But he's shown the mentality to be a dog at times. And crazy thing is, even though he's having an MVP-like season, there are at least 2 other players that are dominating more than he is. It's just sorry. And the other guy that's dominating is on the number 1 team in the Western Conference, and that's SGA. And look, my boy Vaughn just said it. Tatum is a baller. Don't get me wrong. He's a baller. He does some great things for the Celtics. He has evolved his game. He is more aggressive from what I've seen him play. He also gets his teammates involved a lot. I know the last time when I was looking at the game before I came on, he had about 5 or 6 assists in the first half. So he's getting his teammates involved, man. Celtics are looking to defend their title. Like I said, they won it all last year. Although he didn't win the MVP, he didn't even win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. But he was right there in the running. He was, a lot of people thought he should have won it. But it went to Jaylen Brown. All I know is Jason Tatum has been a dog for the first half of the NBA season. And he deserves to be talked about. Now, I am a Miami Heat fan, but I'm also a Duke fan. So, although he bleeds green, I know he still bleeds blue. So, Jason Tatum, you're a dog. Now, very next Dawg inductee for one of the most historic franchises of the college basketball world, the in-state rival to the North Carolina Tar Heels, the Duke Blue Devils. Yes, I feel like now it's time for me to actually talk about how well they're doing this season, because I honestly did not see us playing this well before now. Now we're on a 3-game winning streak. We did lose a game before to Clemson, which was, it's not good because it was an unranked team and we lost. But it's fine. It's the first game we lost in the ACC. 8-1 on the road in the ACC. 15-0 at home. So, great news. Overall, 23-3, 15-1 in the conference. So that's great. That is great. Duke, number 3rd ranked team in the country. Predicting that we should be number 2 overall, but hey, we're number 3 right now. I'm perfectly fine with that. Duke, before the loss against Clemson, had won every single game after they lost to Kansas on November 26th. Duke had not lost a game since Thanksgiving before they lost to Clemson. They were one of a few teams. Michigan State was the other team, but have not lost games. They haven't gotten blown out in any game this season. And it's crazy. The games they lost, they've scored at least 70 points in those games. But number 1 team in the ACC, of course. Average scoring margin in college basketball is a plus 20.2. A plus 20.2 in college basketball? We are outscoring opponents that bad. And this is one of the best defensive teams in college basketball. Top 5 in offensive rating and top 5 in defensive rating. You know, teams that do that normally win the national championship. Now, I'm not saying that is a guarantee, but I'm saying you better watch out for Duke. Oh, we got a hater in the house. Yeah, well, just remember, North Carolina sucks. And Duke doesn't. Duke is doing what we're supposed to do. We have a big game against Illinois this Saturday. We have to win that game because it's a key game against a really good opponent. So, Duke, we got to go in there and handle business. Malik Brown just got injured, but Cooper Flag, Knipple, and my boy Slim, Isaiah Evans, Tyrese Proctor, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's take care of business and put ourselves in positions to be a number 1 seed and get our way to the national championship. So let's get ready because y'all are dogs. So welcome, Duke, to the Dogs. All right, last but not least, of course, we got the big dog. Now, the first half of the season, who is the big dog in basketball? Well, I'm going to tell you how I figured this out. For me, I looked at who has been the most impressive in either college basketball, men or women, the NBA, or WNBA unrivaled. Oh, Vaughn, by the way, Paolo's on fire. 20 points on 7 to 13 shooting right now. So that's for you. But who has been the most shocking, the most impressive, the most improved out of anyone in any of those sports? And you know who I came up with? He was a coach of the team who was the number one team in the Eastern Conference last season. He was. But now he's a head coach with the Detroit Pistons. And he has the Pistons winning games right now. I know a lot of people aren't used to hearing that. But the Pistons are actually winning games right now and competing. It's JB Bickerstaff. I didn't think he deserved to get fired last season. But they fired him, and now the Pistons are winning games with Kay Cunningham, who's been talked about on my show before. He has been amazing this season. The Pistons are one of the, let's just say they are at least a top 8, top 10 team in the Eastern Conference. And you know, there are 10 teams that get in to the play-in tournament. So they're at least in the play-in tournament. Most of the time when we hear about the Pistons, it's more about losing streaks. But the Pistons are not, they're in a new tune right now. You got Malik Beasley, who I believe should have been in the three-point contest over K, but K got in there. Hey, it's got nothing to do with me. But I believe Malik Beasley should have been there instead. But those two together are clutch. K, I think without a doubt, is going to win the Most Improved Player award. I think it should go to him for sure. And just think about this. If JB Bickerstaff gets this team into the playoffs, I believe he should be coach of the year. This was a team who pretty much were the worst team in the NBA last year, or at least one of the worst. Of course, you got the Hornets, you got the Wizards, but they were not good. They won a total of 14, 17 games last season. They already passed that. The Pistons are already past that. I don't know if most teams have paid attention to what they have been able to do this season, but the Pistons, you don't hear people talking about them on ESPN for real. You don't hear segments talking about Kay Cunningham or segments talking about JB Bickerstaff, of how he's continued to help this team improve and why they look so good right now. And how did he get them to this point so soon? Because they had another coach there last year, and who was a brand new coach, and he got fired after one season. And they look night and day from last season. Night and day. The Pistons, they are 6th in the Eastern Conference. 3 games over 500. 6-4 in their last 10 games. Now, I know 6-4 is not a lot. But there are other teams in the East who have either the same or worse records in the last 10 games. The Bucks, 4-6 in the last 10 games. The Pacers, who are 4th in the Eastern Conference, 6-4 in their last 10 games. Magic, 4-6 in the last 10 games. The Hawks, 4-6. Miami Heat, 4-6. The Bulls, 3-7. Right now, the Pistons are not even in the play-in tournament. They're outside. They're outside looking in. Well, they're in the playoffs looking on the outside. Sorry. Yeah, look, Ty, I know what y'all did to the Pistons. They got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. But the Pistons and JB Bickerstaff, to me, is the most amazing story or the most shocking story in the NBA right now, because I don't think there's anyone that thought that they would have 29 wins at this point in the NBA season right now. But they do. So they deserve to be the big dogs. JB Bickerstaff, you're the guy leading this team, and you have been the biggest difference from what they were last year to this year, along with Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley, but you're doing your thing. So welcome to the Dogs. JB Bickerstaff, you are the big dog of the week. Enjoy, my guy. And that will be all for today's show. See you guys next week. Till then, peace out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.